Hey, I'm Lulu Cook, here to chat to you about how DryJan is going for you. It's almost the end of the month, and some of us decided not to drink or use for the month of January, kind of doing a little bit of a detox from that crazy holiday season. Some of us maybe need to stay on the detox, and we know it because things have been out of hand for a really long time, and sobriety feels awesome, so we're ready to keep going with it. Some of us may be looking forward to that first glass of wine on February 1st, which is cool too. And some of us may really be struggling. Like, we really wanted to make it through the month and couldn't not drink, which can be a really scary and out of control and daunting realization. So I think for some of us, there might be some struggles around that as we think about DryJan that only lasted like a few days or a week until the New Year's Eve hangover was over, and then we went right back to the bottle. Like these are all different parts of our story, hey? And different ones of us will experience it differently at different times. And I think they're really all okay. I'm here to promise that there is life after alcohol. And I'm also here to get really real and say, drinking rocks. I love drinking. And I'm happy that I'm not anymore. It feels good to be cultivating clarity and lucidity in my heart and in the way that I relate with the world and relate with the people around me. So grateful that I don't have that need to pick up, but I really remember what it's like. And my heart goes out to people who are struggling with that right now. Wherever you are on that challenge curve, maybe loving the sober life, substance-free living, maybe looking forward to going back to just a really moderate amount of consumption that works well for your health and your lifestyle, or maybe just totally drunk and bummed about it again. No matter where you are, there are things that can support your overall well-being, and particularly if you are continuing to focus on that idea of detoxing and cultivating more clarity and supporting the health of your body to rebound to full energy, especially, full energy, full clarity, full emotional balance, now that the alcohol has washed out of the system. I want to provide a few resources on that today. And they're outlined in more detail in my free ebook, which is Eating for Detox and Recovery. The link is in the notes here below the video, the link to get that free 32-page ebook. But the basics are really around how we eat, how we sleep, and how we cultivate mindfulness to be able to enhance that sense of clarity and balance. And for most of us, when we're first moving into a healthier lifestyle, the real basics of eating more fruits and vegetables, eating enough protein throughout the day, and choosing healthy plant-based fats, some whole grains, that really basic kind of balanced nutrition, healthy diet is where we get the biggest gains. If you're already doing all of that, then it might be time to dial in the nuance a little bit more. And we can talk about that more. You can reach out to me directly and we can talk about that. But for most of us, step number one is actually just drink more water and eat more vegetables. And that will go a huge way toward helping increase your energy levels, helping the detoxification processes in the body, supporting liver detoxification, phases 1, 2, and 3 detox reactions in the body. They need all of the micronutrients that those beautiful, vibrant veggies provide, and the good hydration from the water, which helps a lot with energy as well. So really basic places to start in terms of nutrition, and the ebook dials it in a little bit more specifically. Getting enough sleep and physical exercise. These might sound like no-brainers, like duh, and yet it's astonishing how many of us don't do them and don't prioritize our own well-being enough to make those happen. And we end up staying super late gaming on our phone, or and not getting enough sleep, or we decide to sack out and do a Game of Thrones marathon all weekend instead of getting a little bit of exercise. You know, these are really deeply entrenched patterns and habits, and maybe in some ways it seems like it's a way of taking care of ourselves, letting ourselves have a little release and a little bit of fun. But ultimately, those kinds of habits, when they're overindulged in, are just another way of numbing ourselves out and not letting ourselves experience the full, robust health and energy and vitality that are possible. So again, this is a play. I dial into this more specifically in the book. These are also the kinds of entrenched habits that if you're not having any success in budging them on your own, you might consider working with a coach on getting some traction to create the positive changes that you sense that you're ready to make. And mindfulness, which is super supportive of enhancing our capacity to live sober. When we practice meditating and coming back to the breath again and again and again, and seeing how our mind creates these stories of craving and aversion, dislike, and we begin to see how lost in confusion and delusion the mind often is, we gain more space between our habits, which, you know, for many of us, those habits might have been reaching for a bottle or a cigarette or a sugar cookie. Like, there's lots of different toxins we might be trying to clear out, including added sugars. Meditation gives us a little bit more space between having the trigger of some intense feelings arise and then reaching directly for a substance to numb them, versus being able to have that trigger arise and just let it be and sit with it and not have to act out to shut it down or numb it in ways that we know are unhealthy. So beginning to cultivate a meditation practice can be a really key aspect of supporting our recovery. So here's hoping that for those of you who made it through DryJan and you're starting to feel like you have it handled with not picking up a drink, and you're ready for the next step. Like, this was good. How do I feel even better? These are some basic starting tips, and more in my booklet. For those of you who were just struggling all throughout the month and did not meet your goal, or maybe even met your goal, but you know you're going to go out and get wasted on February 1st because it was just excruciatingly painful to be living substance-free. These kinds of lifestyle tips and habits can support you as well in feeling better in your body, feeling better emotionally next time you try to not pick up a substance. I'm cheering you on. My heart is really with you. It can be so hard to change our habituated behaviors, but we can do it. It is possible. Recovery is possible, and we get to feel better than we ever have before, and definitely way better than the feeling of going to bed with your head spinning and waking up hungover with a hangover that lasts for days. Like, there's a whole better life out there than that, and we deserve it. You deserve it. So I'm curious to know how that journey's going for you. Where are you at with your detoxing? Where are you at with your toxing? Like, we all pretty much have something that we're still doing that's pretty toxic, and we know it. So I would love to hear what some of your experiences and journey are with those things. Thanks for tuning in, and be easy today.